This Thursday marks the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. The day honors the lost children and survivors of residential schools, their families, and communities. We are committed to raising awareness for the truth about reconciliation by covering important Indigenous issues throughout the week here on BT.
And today we're focusing on the present. To date, there are more than 1,000 suspected unmarked graves located at residential school sites, and there are estimated to be thousands more. And a lot of people are asking, who will be held accountable and how does that process look? What will that look like? Joining us now is lawyer Alyson Bear. Good morning to you, Alyson.
Good morning.
I guess this is a difficult question, to be able to hold people and organizations accountable, considering we're looking at well over 100 years of what happened with residential schools and various people involved throughout that time. So what does that look like from a legal perspective, and can we look at that from a legal perspective?
Well, from a legal perspective, Canada has enacted the Crimes Against Humanity and War Crimes Act, which clearly states that genocide, such as, forced assimilation, is what Indian residential schools is illegal, and we're able to hold our states accountable through that. But the problem is that this Crimes Against Humanity and War Crimes Act was just recently legislated. So when it comes to historical events such as this, which is so many years ago, that they're saying that they can't use this act to hold them accountable. Because this act just came into be in 2000. And so anything that happens forward on, they can hold themselves accountable through this act, but not anything that's happened in the past.
Alyson, in terms of what's happening now, I can only imagine the hurdles in investigating these crimes present day. What is happening present day?
Well, from what I see, the NDP party in Nunavut, Mumalak, actually, she's one of the MPs from Nunavut, and Charlie Angus, I think it is. They were having a petition to launch an investigation on Canada. So because there's the International Criminal Court, which is located in Hague, and it's in Europe. And so the Attorney General, so David Lametti, who is the Attorney General, he is the one who needs to initiate this investigation. But he claims that he does not have the power. He says it's the exclusive power of the police, but yet to actually launch an investigation for Canada to be investigated on an international stage, it's the Attorney General who has to launch that investigation.
Alyson, for our viewers, this becomes complicated because with each former residential school site, there are members of the Indigenous community involved, then local police involved. Here in Ontario, the OPP involved, just looking at, say, the Mohawk Institute here in Brantford, Ontario. And then you've got the government involved. So many people here. Where is the oversight? Can the government be involved in something that involved the government in the past? How does that work?
Well, that's kind of something we see happening a lot, where it's almost like the police is governing the police. Like they're the ones investigating themselves. So it's kind of Canada's investigating themselves. Like this is something that we need to see as an issue moving forward, to create solutions, to create tribunals, to create different, maybe like Indigenous people who are able to oversee these harms that have been inflicted. And, but right now we don't have that. We don't have anything of that like that set up. And so, like my grandmother, she is from Cowsas First Nation, which was where they found 751 unmarked graves. And the day that, she went to Lebret residential school. So she went to residential school in that area. And the day that we found out about that, was just devastating. The day that you found out about 215 unmarked graves that were found, the first one, it was devastating. And then it's just kind of carried on, and now it's kind of being almost forgotten about a little bit in the news. People aren't talking about it as much anymore, even though we have like over 6,000 unmarked graves that are found now, and more to still be found. So we definitely need to be thinking about what we're going to be doing moving forward in light of all of this.
Alyson, we got about a minute. Based on everything you've seen, do you expect an actual criminal charge to be laid anywhere in this country, considering how complex and how long ago these crimes took place?
Well, I think that because considering a lot of these nuns and priests that have committed these crimes in these residential schools are now passed on, or they've either moved on to another jurisdiction and they're kind of sitting safe where they are. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to see that justice. Also, holding Canada accountable. I mean, Canada can be held accountable for being criminally negligent in this matter. And, they can take accountability for their actions, that being a part of this, that being a part of administering Indian residential schools. And I think that would be the first step forward if you really want to talk about truth and reconciliation is, accepting accountability of your actions so we can move forward and create more solutions from this.
Alyson Bear, we appreciate you taking the time to discuss this with us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we want to put up this board here for you throughout the week. We will be talking to a number of members within the Indigenous community. This can be very triggering. So please do have a look at some of these support services that are there for those who need it. And we will put that up on our website as well. We're going to take a quick break here on BT. We'll be right back.
Buying a car